Hi, there's John Bice with eXp Real Estate. I wanted to talk to you today about some things I think could really affect your retirement planning and what can absolutely put a damper on it. We sell a lot of homes to baby boomers moving here, and a lot of them don't consider some of these things. I have another video out on the channel that talks to you about buying a home that's too small or buying a home that's too large. We have sold homes at the Del Webb and Lakewood Ranch that were two-story homes, beautiful pool, lakefront, but it's finding the right couple that wants a two-story home. And when you add that second story, it makes the home about 2,800 square feet. And that's a lot of home. Turns it into a 3-bedroom, 3-bath den plus a loft. So that's a lot of space. So that's one thing to consider for sure, the size of the home. Now, remember, when we're on our fabulous time of year from November through April, where the weather is just spectacular, it's 73 here today. I think it was 62 last night, just amazing. So we have the sliders open, the windows open, and we're living on the lanai. We eat out there, we relax out there, and that's where we live. So be aware of that. On the flip side of that, we have 3 months of really hot. July, August, September, really hot. So you have to be aware of that. If you're going to be a full-time resident here, you got to expect 93 degrees during those months. And the humidity is crazy. Now, I'm a Floridian. I love it hot. I work out in my garage. I love to get on my bike and just work up a great sweat. But there's a lot of people that just do not want to deal with that. So you got to be aware, 3 months of summer. And then during those summer months, guess what? We have hurricane season. So you have to be prepared for that. How are you going to prepare your home, or how is the home prepared that you are considering buying? Does it have hurricane shutters, which are required after 2010? Any home that was built after that was mandatory that it had hurricane shutters or impact glass windows. Now, most of the newer communities have gone ahead and started installing the impact glass windows and doors. Now, of course, there's an increase in price for those, but they are doing them. So when a storm is rolling in, you don't have to worry about getting out there, putting those shutters over your windows and doors. And keep in mind what those either shutters are for or the windows are for. It's not really the wind. It is what could come flying through the wind and smash into a window or a door. So, if you have neighbors on both sides like we do, there's not something that's going to come flying through the air, swoop down, and then go through our side windows. So, we're absolutely not worried about that. But we have sliding glass doors on the back of the house, and we have a couple sets of windows on the front of the house. So we installed impact glass windows and the doors on the backside, the sliding glass doors. We had those installed. I've said it on many videos. This home that I bought in Palm Air Country Club was built in 1983. So we've done a ton of updating to it. So those are things to consider. And when you're buying a resale home, be aware of those things. I just put a video out about things to look at on your home inspection. The age of the roof, the age of the air conditioner, the age of the water heater, the age of the windows. As a matter of fact, do you need that? If it's got a pool, how old is the pool? Has it ever been resurfaced? We had to go through that as well. We had to resurface our pool because chips started coming out of the bottom of the pool because, again, the pool was installed in 1983. So we had that done. So those are things, because those costs can add up very, very quickly. Healthcare. I've never had a client tell me that they couldn't find a doctor that they were looking for, a specialist that they were looking for, or transfer their information down here. Now, I've had a couple of health things go on in the past couple of years. I had a surgery on my colon. I had a hip replacement. Didn't have any problem getting in to see the specialist. Didn't have any problem in the hospitals. We got some great hospitals around here. Sarasota Memorial, downtown Sarasota, and they just built a brand new one in Venice. Lakewood Ranch Hospital, Doctors Hospital, Manatee Memorial, Lakewood Ranch has a hospital. So plenty of hospital beds, that's for sure. And as I said, I've never had an issue getting in to see anybody, a cardiologist, a regular doctor, dentist, anything. So those are all things that I think are a myth out there, that maybe there's not enough doctors in the area, and that's simply not true. You got to be aware of, if you're moving here, what snowbird season is. You may be a snowbird. You may be here for snowbird season and then you leave. But I will tell you, our roadways, our restaurants, everywhere, it's probably 30% more crowded than it normally is. As a local that's here year round, that can get frustrating. What would normally take a 20-minute drive to do could take 40 minutes to do. I, I don't know. I guess it's just coming from a different area, but I've never seen so many people in the far left lane decide they're going to make a right hand turn and just stop in the road. It's just things like that that happen here. It's absolutely crazy. So you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware you have people from all over the world that are driving in this area, and you got to have some patience, for absolute sure. You got to have some patience with them. So you got to be aware of that during snowbird season. Okay. Wildlife, insects, we got every bug that God ever created in the state of Florida. So you got to be aware of it. Now, pest control, we get it done once a quarter. They come around the outside of the house, any spider webs that are there, they knock them down, and then they spray the outside of the house up to 3 feet away from your home. So I'm a bugaphobe. I don't want to see any bugs in my house. Our guys are great. They take care of that. So, but you got to be aware of it. There's alligators. We don't swim in lakes here. It's just something you don't do, but you got to be aware that they're there. We got a lake behind our house. Occasionally there's an alligator in it. Not all the time. They migrate. They go back and forth. So we see them in there occasionally. You don't feed them. People do. They'll see them and start throwing food to them. So those alligators start thinking, those people are going to throw me food. I'm heading that way. And that's what happens. And the next thing you know, they're coming up on shore. So don't feed them. Don't get too close to the water. If you've got pets, don't let them anywhere near the water, because there will be an alligator in that lake. I promise you, even if you don't see it, there'll be one in there. So you got to be aware of that. Hidden fees. I would say you got to be aware of what taxes are, how our taxes work on property taxes. We pay in arrears here. So we pay in November for the current year. You get what we call a trim notice in October. It tells you what your taxes are for that year, and then you pay that for the current year. If you're buying a home, you're going to get a credit from the seller for the amount of days that the seller owned the home. So if they sold it to you on June 1st, you're going to get a credit from January 1st through June 1st for the taxes for that year. And then in November, you're going to be responsible for paying those taxes. Be aware that when you buy a home in January of the next year, it's going to be reassessed. So if you have somebody that bought a home 20 years ago, homesteaded it, the taxes couldn't go up more than 3%, but they paid $250,000 for that home, and you just bought it for $650,000, your taxes are going to go up significantly. You got to be aware of that, where they're going to bounce to. So they get reassessed every January. You can, at the day after you buy the house, you can go down and homestead it. And what that does, it locks you in. Your taxes can't go up more than 3% per year. They can go down 5 or 10% or whatever. As we're seeing prices come down, people are seeing their property taxes go down, but they can't go up more than 3% a year. So very, very important. I would say some other hidden fees are CDD fees. All the new communities here have a CDD fee. And what that is, it's the development of the whatever you would like to call it, the land in Florida where there's no streets, where there's no schools, where there's no sewer system, where there's no street lights. They take out a bond, and then every property, like in Lakewood Ranch, every condo, villa, single family home has a CDD fee, and that stays with that property and it's part of your property taxes. So if you see, and they typically range from about $1,200 to $1,800 a year. If you see taxes of $8,000 a year, property taxes in a community that has a CDD fee, that's included in that $8,000. Okay, it's not a separate fee. It's not 8,000 plus 1,800. That would be included in there. So that's a lot to grasp right there, but you got to be aware of what your property taxes are going to be, and the CDD fees. Insurance, Florida insurance has gone up, no doubt about it. The fires in California didn't help anything. We had 2 years where we had storms, and then in 2025, we had zero storms. And I think before the 2 years where we had storms, I think we went maybe 5 years with, almost zero activity, things that passed by the area, but nothing very close to us at all. Before that, I think it was 2004 where we really had some significant hurricane activity in this region. So, yeah, our insurance has gone up. We started at this property almost $2,500, and we're up to about $3,100 now. We're a 2,500 square foot home with a pool on a lake, not in a flood zone. So don't quote me on that. I can tell you who my insurance person is, so you can give them a call and get a quote. But ours is about $3,100 a year. That's what it cost us. Property taxes on this house, we are around $4,400 is where we are there. So that helps you. I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know where you're coming from, if it's a lot or not, but that's what we're paying. Remember, no state tax, no city tax, no car tax, no estate tax. So remember all those things. So you'll get a huge raise by moving to Florida, by the way. Lifestyle, you got to think about what you are going to do in retirement. I see people that move here that they are, one's very active, the other one's been working for a long time, is retired, not sure what they're going to do. So you have to have a plan for what your activity level is going to be and how you're going to stay active as you want to be. All of a sudden, when you retire, you have all this time on your hands. I can tell you, you're not going to go to the beach every day. You're not going to play golf every day. And your kids aren't going to come and visit you every week, especially from the north. I try to drive that into people's heads. Your kids now have families and careers, and they can't just break away once a month and come down and see you from New York. It's not going to happen. So you may end up traveling up there more than they come down here. It's a great thing when they do, but it's not going to happen a lot. The beach, if you're, let's say, in Lakewood Ranch, it's about 12 miles away, which is a great thing. You're not in a flood zone. It takes you about 25 minutes to get out there, but it's a day trip for us. I hear people all the time say, oh my gosh, you're so far from the beach. You're not going to go there all the time. Now, when you first get here, the first couple of weeks, you're probably going to go out there every time you get a chance. After that, you'll probably once every 6 months, you'll go to the beach. Okay. And as I said, it's a day trip. So don't worry about it being 30 minutes away, because you pack up all your stuff, your chairs, your food, whatever you're going to drink, and you take it out to the beach and you hang out there for hours at a time, and then come back and you're exhausted after swimming and getting some sun and running around in the sand. So, but yeah, have a plan for your lifestyle. What are you going to do? Are you going to take up pickleball? Are you going to play water volleyball? Do you want to work out? Are you going to bike? Are you going to run? Are you going to do a lot of walking? But have a plan, because that's going to be important, because sitting is not a good thing. That is for absolute sure. So I think those are some things to consider, things that could possibly ruin your retirement plans. The biggest is financial. Don't buy where you're house poor and you still want to travel. Believe me, the house here is where you sleep and where you got your kitchen and living room, and then the outdoor activity is what's really important. Okay, that's what I said. Our sliders are all open now. The dogs are actually hanging out by the pool, so it's just beautiful. Got a beautiful breeze going on. Like I said, I think it's 73 degrees right now. So those are things to consider. If you got questions about any of these, give me a call. I'm always available. You can call me, text me, email me. Um, let me know. Keyboard warriors, you don't have to put your comments on there that Sarasota is a crap hole and all that. Like I always always see. So I don't care. I love it here. Okay, it's absolutely beautiful. The beaches are spectacular. Is it growing? Yeah, because Sarasota was an absolutely little sleepy beach town for forever. Well, that changed in the 90s. Everything started to grow. So it's still a magnificent area. If I can answer questions for you about this area, again, I cover Parish, Lakewood Ranch, out to the beaches, Sarasota, Nokomis, Venice. We can help you with any of those. So feel free to give us a call. My cell phone number is 941 962 7443. You can email me, you can text me, and I'm happy to answer questions for you. Okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.